I want to shop at Trader Joe's, but all I can afford is the dirt mall. I want to drive a Tesla Model 3, but my idea of a fancy dinner is Boston Market. I want to be woke, but only corporate woke.
Click, 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 click. Website.
This is the most affordable EV in the USA. The owner got this 2016 Nissan Leaf for 10 grand. Well, how fast does it go? Who cares? Well, how far can you drive it? About 70 miles. Well, what if you run out of electricity? Look, Eddie, are you gonna get your hair cut or are you just here at the barber shop to be seen? Unlike most EVs, which have a combination frunk and trunk hatch cargo space, the Nissan Leaf has a bunch of traditional Nissan engine accessories under the hood, including a 12-volt battery to assist those accessories. General Motors did the exact same thing with the Bolt EV. This allows Nissan to reuse as much off-the-shelf components and hardware, which keeps design costs low. If I could brain and consciousness time travel, I'd go back to age 10 and say, I'll do it if it makes you happy. To every fussing adult making a request of me. The Nissan Leaf's B mode, which is like regen braking mode, is more aggressive than a Prius, but not as nauseating as a Tesla. If I could go back in time, in mind and body, I'd say, do you feel I'm unstimulated? Every time a sickly relative with tombstone breath presents me with objects. Here's a snow globe. Shake it. You shake it. Look at it. It's snowing. Do you like it? Do you like it? No, you can't keep it. Now, the Chevy Bolt EV is more fun to drive because it has the right-hand steering wheel paddle thing that automatically, when you pull it, it kicks in full regen anytime you want it. Well, the Leaf doesn't have that flappy paddle. But I guess if you touch the brake lightly, you'll get regen-only braking, so that's something. Merely smile. It's not the same. But the Leaf has proper, comfortable seats, unlike the Bolt's cafeteria-hard, weight-saving seats. I'm a small business owner in rural Pennsylvania. Buy my son's Christian rock album. I keep a stack of CDRs here by the register. The drive selector boob in the center console is as intuitive as a safety pencil and a circle of paper. Owning a Nissan Leaf in rural Pennsylvania is as pointless as pushing the walk button at a crosswalk. The idea is to make you feel like you're doing something, but nothing is actually happening here. Maybe if everybody were to get on the electric car bandwagon, we'd see some change come out of it, but like striking for a wage increase, everybody's got to be on board for it to work. In lieu of a larger infrastructure for this type of car, what you get with a Nissan Leaf is something that's ideal if you never plan on going very far. Because this car comes equipped with acute awareness of the location of every charging station in the Tri-County area. The range anxiety is strong with this one. Your worries are going to stack like Bath & Body Works coupons. Granted, part of this is because it's a 2016 model, before a lot of the kinks were worked out with electric vehicles. Of course, this implies that electric vehicles are in any way foolproof and free of all the issues that plagued them at the start. Whether the spotty range or the difficulty in finding mechanics when, say, the heater core goes on the fritz, like the owners did. Because this isn't just a regular heat exchanger with coolant flowing through it, this is more like a space heater, like a resistive heater with a fan on it. Nissan Leaf. For when your need to be environmentally friendly is at odds with paying off your student loans. The published range is 86 miles, but as time and the battery wears on, the charge isn't held as strong, so now the owner gets around 70 to 75 miles. As for power, this makes the equivalent of about 109 horsepower, not too bad, and 170 pound-feet of torque. Really, it's an electric car, but also a 5-door hatch that looks like a 5-door hatch. You could be forgiven for thinking this is an internal combustion engine car. You could be forgiven for thinking this is an internal combustion engine car because it's as boring as that one show I can't think of right now. Maintenance? Straightforward. Just replace the brake fluid, cabin filter every once in a great while, and rotate the tires. It's a car whose value is improved not just through relative lack of maintenance requirements, but by its low barrier to entry, especially on the used market, because, well, it's a Nissan, so it's going to depreciate like hell. 10 grand for a car with 14,000 miles on it. And he bought it at a dealer. He's got about 34,000 miles on it now. And it still runs smoother than flavorless pancakes. Oh, but 2004 called. It wants its clear taillights back and your cracked version of Windows XP. And don't forget the keygen, the one that plays a MIDI version of Chop Suey by System of a Down when you load it. Nissan Leaf, the official car for cyclists who want to take up more of the road. Technological comforts are one thing, but the quietness of the Leaf is delightful. It's easy to lose track of your speed, even though it doesn't go too fast. That's because, no gears, no transmission, it just goes. There's no gears to feel shifting. But there's also no real accompanying noise to tell you, hey, you're going faster. And by that, I mean, when you drive a Tesla, Teslas do make noise. They make this high-pitched ee sound. And the more you hear that, you're like, hey, I'm going fast. But out of all the EVs I've driven, the Nissan Leaf is the quietest. It's not that it's fast, it's just that it's capable of losing track of its own slowness. And also the owner put Dynamat in. Nissan Leaf. I want to buy a Tesla, but I'm trying not to have roommates anymore. Every time I wipe, the paper looks like Wilson from Castaway. Nissan Leaf. It's just fast enough to be satisfying and well-handling enough that you can't really find much to complain about, apart from its range. It's as palatable to modern sensibilities as current Weezer. But it's not going to get you hyped about the possibility about electric vehicles because it's just an car. It's an electric car designed to be accepted by everybody. From electric vehicle optimists to the man whose favorite genre of music is 1950s pop, that's about teenagers getting killed to death.
Oh, where can my baby be? Cashing in.
Upper trim models get bigger 30 kilowatt hour batteries, but this base model has the 24 kilowatt hour. Leafs. Is it Leafs or Leaves or Leaf? I'm saying Leafs or Leaves. I'm going to switch between them because no one's correcting me. If you're going to buy a Leaf, what you want is a 2017 and newer because by then the range is over 100 miles and current Leafs get over 200 miles, which is on par with the base model Tesla Model 3. That's about 220, except the Tesla Model 3 knocked this off the top of the list of best-selling electric cars. Now, whether it stays that way is anybody's guess. Elon could put out a tweet tomorrow that tanks the entire company, so who knows. In the public realm, electric vehicles are like kids. You want them to be like you. You want them to act the way you do, to have all the qualities you had or better. But you can't predict how your kid is going to turn out. You might want an electric car to look and act and sound like the cars you know and love, and some can approximate that experience really well, which is what the Leaf does, apart from the sound. But I feel like it'll be a while before electric vehicles reach the level of acceptance where people stop judging them in comparison to their parents because EVs are not their parents. But they are the future. Just like Generation X, the generation that I'm kind of stuck in between, had to get down with the arrival of new metal. We're all going to have to get used to the inevitability of more automakers going this way. Dear Ford, please give us the new truck. Like RCR is only now getting press cars. I don't know how long it's going to be until we get the electric truck. But anyway, for now, I have a hard time complaining if the cars were as solid as the Nissan Leaf. And it's kind of weird because I've been crapping on Nissan for a long time for just making junk. And then I drive this thing and I'm like, this thing's good. I could see myself driving a Leaf every day. It couldn't replace Goldie, our camera car Subaru, but, just as a second car, this would be all right. Driving a base model Leaf with the small battery is a lot like motorcycle commuting, which is what I used to do pre-RCR and actually kind of in the beginning of it with my GS500. Like I had my Toyota Echo, which that did like 42 miles a gallon. Great. But I needed more miles per gallon. So I rode a Suzuki GS500, which would get like 60 if I rode it easy. But when you commute on a motorcycle, you have to be conscious of where the gas stations are, because like maybe you'll have a 5-gallon tank, and yeah, you get good mileage, but most bikes don't have fuel gauges. So you're like, you have to, filling up the tank when you don't really need to, because I don't know this area that well. Anyway, so if you are thinking about a Nissan Leaf and you are in the motorcycle community, it's exactly like commuting on a motorcycle as far as range goes. So yeah, I really wanted to make fun of this, but I can't. Nissan Leaf is all right.
Range anxiety is causing grief. Automotive cracked windows SP.